You're not discounting out Tio. Tio can get it. Gary can get it. Anybody
Tio scared me. Trust me, man. Trust.
doesn't want the smoke.
No, no, really, really. I think it scared me because I don't know why, no fight me.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Drag Queen Boxing, and we are back for yet another. Make sure you smash that like button on your way in. Make sure you sub to the channel if you are not already subbed. Make sure you pull up on us Thursday and Saturday at 5:30 p.m. We are having a good old time at the Players Palace, honey, and a great boxing conversation. Now, let's get into this alleged slap, right? Apparently, yesterday, Teofimo Lopez attended the Mario Barrios versus Manny Pacquiao fight. So did a lot of other celebrities. Amongst those was Subriel Matias. Um, both champions at 140. Neither have an opponent lined up. Well, Subriel Matias might be facing, I think, Dalton Smith, but there's nothing set in stone or scheduled. At least nothing I could find. Right, and I believe a fight with Teofimo Lopez. Um, that's better to me than Dalton Smith. But as you can see, based on their interaction, Theo kept calling him Gordo. Gordo in English means fat, right? Now, this makes the third time that one of these other boxers have pulled up on Teofimo Lopez and some sort of um, altercation has begun or first it was Devin Haney, then it was Terrence Crawford, and now Subriel Matias. This is due to Teofimo Lopez running his damn mouth. But before we get into this alleged altercation, first let's discuss when he originally ducked Subriel Matias. I believe it was earlier this year. If y'all remember, an offer for Theo was on the table, or at least in the works, for him to fight Subriel Matias. Now, this would have been a good fight, right? And it still is a good fight. Top Rank was on board, but in typical Teofimo clout chase fashion, he decided to counter with a ridiculous offer. So, in other words, he turned down the fight. Now he started calling this fight a setup, and naturally, Bob Aaron cheap ass was furious, right? He is the type of promoter who's seen everything, right? But even Bob was completely confused. I forgot what magazine it was, but he said, we offered him a tremendous amount, basically his biggest purse ever, and he turned that down. So the question is, what won't he turn down? You know, Stuff like where's his head at? Bob even, said that he was throwing a little shade, but he was like, even, his last fights weren't even all that good. You know what I'm saying? Which obviously made his demands even more ridiculous to Bob. Um, and I quote, Bob said, dealing with Tiafimo is like dealing with Alice in Wonderland. Now, on the other hand, Subriel Matias, obviously, he's pissed off too. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo, like I said, he likes to stoke the flames, the racial flames. He felt like, Theo wasn't just disrespecting him, but his entire country. So, Subriel, he made a few threats. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the man who tragically, unalived one of his own opponents. So, obviously you can't take threats from a guy like this lightly. He said he was going to send Theo to the hospital for disrespecting Puerto Rico. Now, obviously, this is not about money anymore for Matias, which in the clip that I played, he wants Theo really bad. This is serious to him. Obviously, when this was first going on, it put Theo under the microscope and started creating some sort of pressure. Um, You have one fighter who is 100% sure, you know what I'm saying, that his team is out to get him or sabotage him in some form or fashion. And then on the other side, you have, you know what I'm saying, a real threat. You know what I'm saying? Subriel Matias ain't no punk, who feels completely disrespected by Teofimo. So, once again, drama ensued. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo, he did a bunch of interviews and, he would say things that I consider to be racist. Like, for instance,
Subriel Matias, no one knew about him until he started calling me out. He just do the facts. He could be an IBF world champion, but he's the most softest fighter in the division. Why I say that? Because one dimensional to the point where Puerto Ricans, man, I tear they butt up. Puerto Ricans are easy to beat. And I don't care if the Puerto Ricans feel some type of way.
and obviously, Subriel Matias heard that and he feels some goddamn type of way. Okay? I don't think he's seen Teofimo since then, which brings us back to the alleged slap. um, Look, okay. The two of them, obviously, they finally crossed paths, as we saw in the clip. It appears as if Sylvia Matias slaps the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody, including Teofimo's father. Um, they were arguing, obviously, about the disrespect, and then that's when the situation escalated. Now, this obviously is deeper than just boxing for Subriel Matias. But once again, this is just another part of the saga that is Teofimo Lopez. The boy just can't stay out his own damn way. Okay? That animosity that we saw Subriel carrying, that was 100% real. Okay? He does not like Teofimo Lopez. He wants to fight him even more than the other champions at 140. Now, Teofimo, obviously, we know that he continues, as I said, to the flames of racial tension. And this is what happened. You know, I believe it was back in March. Tio was at a press conference for his fight against Arnold Barbosa. Um, those two were allegedly screaming at one another during the face-off. It got physical. Barbosa, y'all remember, he knocked Teofimo's cowboy hat off his head. You know, I don't know. Theo, he retaliated with a slap of his own. Listen, all of this is basically the chickens coming home to roost, right? Why do Theo act this way? You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't even think it's about money at this point. I think he just constantly, writes checks that his ass he know he ain't ready to cash because um obviously when he got wind that Subriel Matias was displeased with his choice in words, he started backpedaling.
Subriel Matias spoke to one of our correspondents. He said that you diss Puerto Rico or something along those lines. I don't know what is he talking
Well,
about there.
I guess I had to clarify it. I said that Puerto Ricans are not good. I mean, of this time, not
The
old
era,
time.
this era,
Yeah, this
these Puerto
era of
Ricans
Puerto
are,
Ricans are
yeah,
not it. That's all. You
yeah.
know,
Now y'all heard the same damn clip I heard. That boy did not say nothing like that. This era and I didn't say they weren't good at all. No, that's what you said. That's exactly what you said, man. Bottom line is this. Teofimo Lopez, he's getting what he deserves, okay? First of all, by turning down at that time what would have been his career highest payday, that obviously left a bad taste in Bob's mouth, you know? Um, I don't know. I have to ask guys, what do y'all think? He a female, he likes to say he's misunderstood, but I don't think so. I think that he intentionally provokes people with racist remarks, and then when they press his ass, he bitches up. That's exactly what I think, and that's exactly to me what is going on. And Super Matilda just ain't having that shit. You know what I'm saying? When Bud pulled up on him, put his ass in a chokehold. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe Devin will really do nothing. But, he pressed him nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? About some of the things that he says, some of the things that he does, the moves that he makes. It's like he's holding them damn belts hostage, first of all. We need a unification fight. Now, granted, he just fought in May. You know what I'm saying? But still, there needs to be something you get in the works. You owe Turkey, what, 2 more fights? So let's get in there and make it happen. I wouldn't be mad at a fight with him and Subriel Matias. You can run, but you can't hide. All of y'all now are working with Turkey. Turkey, quote unquote, removes the A side advantage. This is what I've been hearing. So there should be no reason that the two of these boys can't get in there and settle their differences like men. Or, Theo, are you what I have been saying about you for the longest time true? You're no longer the takeover, but the leftovers. It's just a question. But until next time, y'all know what to do. Catch me on the panel.